Simplified are a set of guys who makes it looks easy. Your number one learning channel. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, damn. Dude, I've been talking the entire time and my volume is low. You were not you were not you just joined now, ne?
Yeah, I just joined now.
Okay. How are you doing, Mr. Man?
Good evening. You?
I'm very good. I feel like inequalities are not that hectic.
Mm.
They
But I
shouldn't be that
just
hectic. No. I know. We're gonna work it out. I know. We just have
mm.
to find. But the goal is to make sure tomorrow when you get there, you kill it. But I was thinking for our lesson, let's add our friend students, so they can see also how inequalities work. I'm not sure if they're gonna be writing sooner or later, but I just know that the curriculum is the same for everyone. Sometimes you know why I prefer doing it like this. Sometimes there are times where we'd be talking and we put a punchline of something which I felt like, oh, the way I explain this thing, I might not remember to explain it on the other
Yeah,
part.
other
That's why
people.
I'm like, yeah, it's just that in your time is the one that is more expensive because when you are not available, Mr. Man, and unless for for those days that we know. But I know already there's no pressure and it's not exam time yet.
Yes.
So I know that there's still that freedom. That's gonna be a point, probably. Of course, sometimes we do meet up kind of weekend for those who are struggling extra. And then for me, it's an everyday thing to make sure I teach someone something because even your tests and your exams, they come on different days.
Mm.
So while we edit, let me just quickly add our friends, just because I know they for every lesson. There are some people like as much as I treat my students equally, I know that some things, some of you understand them faster, others they take long, others you
Yes.
have to repeat twice or three times or one. Mara,
Mm.
at the end of the day, we all want to pass.
Mm.
So
So can you send a picture of I have more document we can do here. So
more
for all of
questions,
us,
then
yeah.
send more questions. The more we have more. We might not finish all of them, but the more we have more, the more we have options. Because our goal is to choose the challenging ones. We don't care about the ones we can do already. We want those ones where if the teachers are trying to trap us on this one, we know where
Yeah.
we've already worked around that. So uh Vele for tomorrow, they made it specifically to be about inequalities as well as trigonometry, ne?
Yes. And yeah, that it yeah.
It's
Oh.
quite a lot of things. It's quite a lot of things, Yana, for the time we have. And I wish we could have started with this
Mm.
anyway yesterday. Unfortunately, also yesterday you were not available. And I did try to check up, like, hey, it's Mr. Man there. They're like, hey, tomorrow. And because tomorrow we're gonna do one part, today we do one part. But let's not waste our time. Let's
Yeah.
go through it. I think our friends will join us as they through time. But for now, let's go with what we have. Where do I start? Let me start explaining the whole concept of inequalities, the way we should be looking at it. Basically, we have these sides. And in terms of the notation, okay, welcome. It's Jade. Welcome, Jade.
Hi,
You know, hi, how are you doing?
I'm good and you?
Very, very good. Our friend is writing inequalities and trigonometry tomorrow. So it's one of those last minute preparations of some of the tasks that we're gonna have to do just to help prepare for tomorrow. So I was just like, since it's just mathematics of the same grade, and we are trying to master as many topics as we can, I was like, let me just add 2 more people whom I feel they may benefit from this lesson. So it's just, you are welcome. We are doing inequalities and we're gonna do a bit of linear algebra for today. Just to prepare for my plan earlier, before I knew that Mr. Man has a math test tomorrow, I wanted us to do physics, but it's fine. We can postpone the physics to our next meeting. Let's just fix this one first. And in addition, Jade, there's gonna be a day where it's probably you who's writing, and you might have a lot of questions. It wouldn't be wrong to add a friend who may benefit from that lesson also. So you see something like that. We are trying to, if I say kill 1 bird, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, it would be wrong. You guys are not birds. we're just trying to push understanding for everyone to, we are aiming for the same goal. Distinctions and good marks for everyone. Ne?
Yeah.
So let me go back. I was about to explain the whole story of inequalities. Normally, we have these arrows, and I can add an equal sign also. So we have this greater than, less than, or equal than. There are times where they combine. I'll come to that. Normally, most of you would call this greater than, right?
Yeah.
And you would call this less than.
Yes.
And you would call this equal sign. Or equal to. Let me just say equal to. Let me not say equal sign, because I could have said greater than sign, equal to sign, less to sign. Let's leave the signs out of it. In reality, we all know greater than, we say it is bigger. Smaller than, we say it is smaller. Equals to, we say they are equal. But there's more to it. There's more to this. It's not really about greater than, less than, or equals than. It's about the reality of how you see these things. So now, if we call this sign number 1, sign number 2, and sign number 3, and then I put 2 numbers, which I can choose 10 and 7. Between sign number 1, sign number 2, and sign number 3, which one do I put here?
Sign number 1.
Sign number 1. If I put sign number 1, we interpret it as 10 is greater than 7, right?
Yeah.
But what if we tell our mind that regardless of sign number 1, sign number 2, and sign number 3, what if I tell my mind that sign number 1 and sign number 2 is the same sign, just facing opposite direction? Because I'm saying this because in ways, this is a less than sign, right? As much as this is a less than sign, I'm allowed to say 7 is less than 10. The way I'm allowed to say 10 is greater than 7. Do you understand where I'm going with this?
Yes.
So I would say 7 is less than 10. When I say 7 is less than 10, by using less than, it means I'm involving number 3. But number 3 is facing that direction. And when it's facing that direction, now I'm opposing it the other way around. Hence, I'm saying 7 is less than 3. But though I know that 10 is greater than 7. So it doesn't matter how you look at it. 1 and 3 are just the same signs that are just changing and become the other way around or the other way around. And I want you to picture it like this. This sign is like, think of, you guys, did you used to watch Shaka Zulu during the time Shaka Zulu was playing? Boom, 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 boom. Did you used to watch Shaka Zulu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaka Zulu and his crew, they use these arrows to fight their battles. They use arrows. And we know the right way to use the right way to use an arrow. The steep part is the strongest one. This part is the one that kills you. This part is the one that conquers in most cases. Because if you look at this, if I was to make an arrow out of this, that's how my arrow would look like. So some students, they like to view this greater than as Pac-Man. Or it is. Like normally they think of this could be the side of the bigger number. So I want us to stop confusing these arrows. It's not about Pac-Man, it's mainly about the arrow. The strong part is the one that conquers. So whatever number that stands on the strong part, it has to be the smaller number. Whatever number that is on the side that is attacking the weak part, it has to be Shaka Zulu firing the arrow. So we don't care about the whole arrow. We don't care about the whole arrow in Shaka Zulu himself. We just care about the tip of the arrow. So the concept now is whether the sign is facing that direction or the sign is facing that direction. We don't ask from now today onwards. We don't care about that. We know that greater than, it just means the bigger number is conquering the smaller number. Less than, it just means that the smaller number is losing to the bigger number. So all you just have to know is always this side you'll have bigger number. This side will have smaller number. When the arrow is like that, that's where we say bigger number is greater than smaller number, meaning bigger number conquers smaller number. So that's why 10 was greater than 7. Do you see that?
Yes.
On the opening side, it's always going to be, on the opening side, we're always going to have a bigger number and a smaller number, because the smaller number is weak. It's the one that Shaka Zulu is doing the arrow on. It's Fala, Fula, Saba. I don't know. Yeah, but then, so the reason why bigger number is always on the open end, smaller number is always on the small end. So that's the analogy. Hence we say 7 is less than 10 when we look at it from this side. But it's the same scenario. That's why I'm using the same numbers, so you must know. But we don't necessarily have to call it sign number 1 and sign number 3. It is actually the same thing, facing that direction, facing that direction. Although it's nicer to look at. So in grade 1, it was easy for us to just say this is greater than, because it was always had to be like that. And this is less than, because we always look at it like that. But now, as grade 10 students, we start to sharpen our brain. We look at this thing as one thing. Although from the previous knowledge, it used to be greater than sign and less than sign. So from now, we're going to start to learn it as it's just the same sign. It's just that on the other side, it is the bigger number is on the other side, the smaller number is on the other side. And always the smaller number is facing the side of the tip, which is the arrow. The bigger number is facing the other side, which is the smaller number. This theory should allow us to at least understand some questions. Let me stop from here. Is there any questions so far?
No.
Before we're still good, ne?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want us to leave each other behind. I want us to come with it in order. So when we come to the application of the questions, we're all just grooving and enjoying. Okay, let's come with the story then. So it goes on and say, it goes on. Now, let me remove some of this and leave our signs. Okay. So bring back our signs. We have sign number 1, sign number 2, and sign number 3. Okay. I'm going to name them the very same way. Sign number 1, sign number 2, and sign number 3. There are times where these signs, they merge, they combine. Like equal sign is so flexible such that sometimes we're going to have greater or equals to, sometimes we're going to have less or equals to. That's when a plus sign merges with the less than sign, or a plus sign merges with the other sign. So sometimes we may have this situation where instead of just having less than or greater, because now we are improving, we are in a higher grade now, we're going to have greater or equals to, less or equals to. What this means, it means that, for instance, if I say a variable y is greater or equals to 1, I mean that it can be 1 or anything more than 1. But when I say y is greater than 1, I'm saying that it cannot be 1. It's just anything more than 1. We even have a way to present this on a number line. If I had a number line of some sort, where I had 0, 1, 2, 3, and the number line goes to that direction. If I present this one, I'm saying the value is greater and equals to 1, meaning it includes 1. So I would draw a circle and I shade that circle, and then I show the arrow where it's going. The shading part means that I'm including 1 itself. But if I was to present this on a number line, it will be a different story. Same number line, 0, 1, 2, 3. This one, it says it's just y greater than 1, meaning I'm not including 1, but it's y, it's any value above 1. So I'll put an open circle without shading it inside, and then it goes like that. That's how I represent the two scenarios in a number line. And the two scenarios means exactly like that. So I'm saying this because as much as we are preparing for a lesson, for a test that's happening tomorrow, everything is just fast. But we're going to come back to this and take a step back. So there's a difference between this and this in terms of how we represent them in the form of a number line, although they look similar. Ne? So whenever we get this, don't ever feel confused or anything. This information that I gave you right now is the same. So remember, in this regard, we do not treat inequalities the way we treat equal signs, although it may be similar. Look at it like this. If I have 2x plus 1 is greater than 0, and I have to solve for x here. For this regard, yes, I will pretend like this is an equal sign, such that it would be 2x is greater than, I will take the 1 to the other side. This is going to be minus 1. But I'm solving for x. I will divide by 2, dividing by 2. Therefore, x is greater than minus 1 over 2. The reason why I say we don't treat an equal sign the way we treat inequalities is because this doesn't mean x is equals to minus 1 over 2. What does it mean, Konje? Whatever the number line is, I'm just starting from half because it starts from half. Wherever it goes, that's what it did. So x is greater than minus half. Just means that the value of x that's from here, but it doesn't include half. And then all the values that goes that side, they are included, but starting from half, anything greater than half. So from here, it means for 2x plus 1 to be positive, let me not go there for now. You are still young for this, or not even like you are still young for this, just that I'm not on that part yet. I'm improvising just to get us to be able to solve questions for tomorrow's test. But that's what it means. There is a special case. I must state out the special case because if I don't state it out now, you will forget it. I'm going to put the same scenario. 1 minus 2x is greater than 0. 1 minus 2x is greater than 0. From when must that be? So this means I will then say minus 2x is greater than, I'm going to take the minus 1 to the other side and becomes minus 1. So now I have minus 2x. There is this special inequality. I have to say it out loud before I go through it. Do you know what happens in inequalities when you divide by a negative number? Or is it the first time you hear about it such that I'm bringing it up now?
Yes, I know.
You know what happens? Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Nsika, hold it right there. Is there anybody else who doesn't know what happens when you divide by a negative number in inequalities?
I don't know.
Don't know, ne?
Mm.
Every time it is, if you have an arrow facing a direction, when you divide by a negative number, the arrow changes and faces the other direction. Because remember, for now, I'm telling you, we're not considering it as arrow number 1 or arrow number 3. It's just one arrow facing this direction. If I move and face that direction, it will change and face that direction. So it's just the same arrow. So each time you're going to divide by a negative under inequalities. When you have a greater than sign and divide by a negative, it has to change and become a less than sign. When you have a less than sign and divide by a negative, it has to just change to become a positive sign. For now, not a positive sign, a greater than sign. For now, this information I'm giving you is not something which I expect you to memorize it as of now all the time. If you are hearing it for the first time, you're still gonna forget. But a practice will make you come back to that scenario because you're gonna. This is just the beginning of your beautiful journey of mathematics. I feel like grade 10 is actually the actual beginning of the real mathematics. That's why even your physics and your life science, you start choosing them from this year because the previous year was just a combination of everything. So now this is when you are specializing, okay, sharp. Now I'm mastering my mathematics as a mathematician. Whether you're going to become an accountant or an engineer, but the math, that's when you master the math. So every time you divide by a negative, you just have to know what it's gonna result in a sign changing the direction and face the other direction. We are not even memorizing. We are just learning while improvising. So if I divide by minus 2 here to cancel the minus 2 to solve for x, and I divide by minus 2 here, this will cancel this. Therefore, x will be less than 1 over 2. Just because I divided by a negative number, the sign must change and face the other direction. It's just a procedure that we must do all the time. Hence, I say you may forget, but just know what it is like that. So the previous one, we had 2x plus 1 is greater than 0. And when we solved it, it was 2x greater than minus 1, whereby it resulted as when I divided by 2 here and I divided by 2, this cancels it. X became still greater than minus 1 over 2. I didn't change the sign because I didn't divide by a negative value. Now, furthermore, I may have a scenario where someone just come and say, let's have minus 3 minus, or rather minus 6 minus 3y is less or equals to 0. Now I've put in an equal sign underneath. It's not just like the ones. And I can remember I said the equal sign sometimes combines with the greater than and the less than to say it is greater or equals to. So suppose we have this scenario. I have to solve for y. If I solve for y here, I would have minus 3y is less or equals to, I will take the minus 6 to the other side, and then it will become positive 6. Now it's a positive, it's not a negative. when I divide by -3 and divide by -3, this will cancel this. Therefore, y is going to be, anyone who wants to guess?
-2.
-2. But I'm not interested in the -2 part. I'm interested in how do I put the Shaka Zulu thing.
We'll put it flipped.
It switches, it
Y
flips
is-
because
It's a
we
negative.
divided by negative. Although the number on the right that we're dividing with was a positive, it's not about that. The reason why I show this is because you might get confused, because here it was -1 divided by -2. So the negative sign is not about the right hand side. The negative sign is when you are dividing the variable, the coefficient that is attached to the variable. That is what makes your sign to flip. So it will flip and face that direction. These are the important things to know so far regarding inequalities. I think we have learned enough nyana so far, such that we can try some questions. So, Mr. Man sent me some questions which we can work on these ones. I see where I felt like, I just thought that I'm gonna take a break. I'll come back to this one. So I get it. There's that thing where when we have a lesson, I would give you something to do and say, please do this, we'll get back to it. Guys, whenever I give you something to do, I'm not really stressing you like it's homework like that. Though it has to be done. It has to be done for the sake of showing that you understand. And I will look at it and we'll discuss it and we'll mark it fair. Mara, I don't want you to feel bad, Hori, if we have to do something and then maybe you hadn't done it, and then you feel like, hey, let me just miss this lesson because they might ask me to show that thing that I've done and I haven't done it. Or that thing of when the teacher, like the period is coming and then you try to do the homework at the last minute. Don't worry about that. With me, I'm not. For me, on my side, it's not hectic. I'm not gonna pimper you to your parents and say, they don't do my work. Like I know the way we are working, as we are working in a small portion. Sometimes it's one-on-one, sometimes just 2 or 3 of us. So I know I will get to know what you understand, because the one class thing is because there would be 45 students. And from the 45 students, for the teacher to can only see how you are progressing, it's through that homework and that classwork. So that's why they force and like, So for me, that's luxury, because sometimes we'll be talking one-on-one. I would be even writing and you tell me step by step how to go. So I'm not worried about the homework. Sometimes it's not even homework as such. It's just for your own practice. Sometimes I know you're gonna forget, but I would like you to take it personally for your own self. So when you do it, you're just doing it for yourself. So now when I come, I fix it for yourself. So that our lessons will be like random all the time, because throughout the year, our chapters, they don't go order like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. But every time the tests are just all over. So what we do, we focus on a small. All our goal is, if there's nothing to look forward to, like a test or an exam, we learn general stuff that we need to be ready for any test or an exam, following the curriculum that we have throughout the year. And we also, because for someone like me, I can predict from the past and from experience, when we follow the CAPS curriculum, how do chapters go? So I know schools do this chapter for the first term, they do these chapters for the second term, So we are eating an elephant, but one slice at a time. So I was just saying this in passing because I felt like maybe some of you could take long to join our meeting, because I feel like, hey, let me do that thing first because I didn't finish that. And you'll be surprised. You might join the lesson and you find that it's not about that thing that we did yesterday. Today is about this. But tomorrow we'll continue from there. So then that's when I can say, please show me the work. But if you hadn't done it, there are times where I can even give you 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do it now since you had forgotten. So that's why I'm like, let's appreciate the simplicity, because that's what I'm pushing. I'm not pushing that commitment to feel like school is jail, because school is it's already jail on its own, the one that you are doing yourself. Imagine waking up before the sun come out, and you come back home after the sunset. There are people like that. If you get home while the sun is still out, you are fortunate. There are people who wake up 4 a.m., bruh, and they come back home at 6 p.m. in the name of school, and they are just kids, bruh. Like they're just kids. Like I worry when I go for a jog in the morning, there's this preschool kid I find in the gate, like waiting for a transport around 5:30. And I'll be like, shame, man. Like when is the poor baby gonna experience just living life, running around? Because now the parents also have to go to work and whatever. But that kid now they're starting the kid with the professionalism because and I look at her, I'm like, shame. Once it starts from grade R or grade R, once you go in, once they make you wear that school bag, they put a scarf in your backpack, and they put one book and a pencil, and you start learning ABC. From that moment onwards, it never stops again. You just keep on waking up in the morning, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 12, university. You keep on waking up in the morning, first year, second year, third year, final year. You get a job, you keep on working in the morning, and then you become a family, a parent, make children, they do the same thing. That's what I'm trying to let us escape from. So let's not treat this part out of fear of school. They're gonna report me. Here we are free. We are using this as gym to make sure we're at that prison of school. Whatever they are giving us, we get the marks right. So we don't have to repeat grades because the more you repeat grades, the more you pay even more. So we are avoiding that. But also, it feels good to have distinctions. To get distinctions, dog, it feels good, don't you think?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it gives you that thing, yeah, man, I'm killing it. Because also, as much as we talk bad about school, if you can stay home and not go to school for 4 days while everybody else is there, you're not gonna have fun. You're gonna miss it. You will go. Like as part of we might hate it, but there's also life there. Because during break, we hang with our friends. Some of the friends which we wouldn't even bring home because our parents might not approve of those friends. But when we're at school, we can hang with those friends. So things like that. So there's a there's a positive part about it. Let me choose the first question that we have. It's fine. This one, Ntsika sent me a lot of questions. I'm not gonna share them with everyone as such. But I think I can. I can share them with everyone
I
such
think
that
the last one I sent, because I asked my teacher for him to write things we can practice. So I think he like just put questions that might be there in the test.
yes. Oh, yeah, I wanted us to go like that. So it's just that questions for mathematics are just questions for mathematics, and everyone has their own textbooks and their own works. That's why I don't want to send everything. It's fine. I'm gonna write them down from here, and then we're gonna discuss them one. So, I'm gonna go with your section A, ne? Everyone, don't mind which section A is. It's just the questions that I have from the phone because you send them through WhatsApp. But we're gonna go through the questions one. So when I copy the question here, when I have a paper on your side, we're gonna just copy it and see how we do it. But I'm gonna select for each and every section. We're gonna do one easier one, two difficult one, one easier one, just to save time. Because when I'm looking at my time, it doesn't favor me. But don't worry, for cases like this, I'm able to talk to the next group to postpone if I have to explain a bit more. Like that's why sometimes when I tell you like, yo, I'm still busy with another lesson, it's because of things like this when we do something and feel like, hey, our time is not enough, and then we have to extend Yana. That's the freedom of it. So you see, this one we are not strict. If it was a mathematics teacher wanting their period and a geography teacher is taking long, they were gonna stand by the door with their textbooks and say, come out, man, I have to teach. I don't know if it happens. But those are the problems we face in schools. So anyway, let's go and solve some inequalities problems so we can move to trigonometry. But I'll do another trigonometry, we're just focusing on things that may come out tomorrow. So if you have 3x is greater than 12, this one is not a problem, right? Anyone who wants to tell the answer from here without even solving it just by looking at it, maybe, because now this one is way too simple. That's why they call it number one.
Greater than.
Divide by 3, divide by 3. This cancels out. X greater than 4. Straightforward. Now, we have I'm going to 1.1.4. Minus 4x is less than minus 28. We now know the drill. The moment I divide by minus 4 and minus 4, before I even write the answer, since I divided by a negative number, I know this will change.
It will flip.
It will flip. And then this will cancel, then therefore I would have x will be positive 7. Because it's just 28, negative 28 divided by 4. Still straightforward. And then we may have real questions now, which may be the ones which, this is something which I think an examiner would want to put out there just to see how confident are you. So that would be 4 into 2x minus 1. This is greater than 5x plus 2. So now this is a real equation. Now we must apply our actual foiling, removing bracket, arranging the x's by the x's, arranging the constants by the constants, wara. So here, you know the drill. Would multiply this by this, and then would multiply that by that, because first thing first, bracket. That's when we would have 8x minus 4
Negative 4.
is greater than 5x plus 2. The next thing now is just to arrange the x's with the x's on the left and the numbers with the numbers on the right. Therefore, we'd have 8x minus 5x is greater than, because this one, it was 4. It was positive 5x. When I take it this side, it has to be minus 5x. The 4 is negative. When I take it to the other side, it will become positive and then plus 2. We're still together so far, right?
Yes.
So now from here, 8x minus 5x will then give us 3x. This is greater than 4 plus 2 will give us 6. Then just divide by 3, and then we divide by 3, and then this cancels that. Then x is greater than 2.
2.
So in a way, this is similar to when we are using an equal sign. The only way it becomes different is when we are dividing by a negative number. And the part of dividing by a negative number will be for it will be for cases, the part where we're dividing by a negative number, it will be for cases of where the coefficient is negative. But also, let me just do one more last one on this one before I move on. I see this one is also interesting. 1.6. 6x minus 3x, or in brackets, minus 3x plus 4 is equals to, oh, no, it's not equals to, it's less than 5x. I would like to say, you guys do it first, we can do it together after, but I can tell we don't have enough time today. So we're going to practice probably eventually in future. As I say, we're just improvising to help someone prepare for what they're writing tomorrow. And then for us, it's just an extra knowledge. But we're going to come back to this lesson at a slower pace. Ne? So here, for brackets first, as much as this 6x, like some students may confuse this with this. It looks similar, but the other one doesn't have brackets. So the 6x, it means it is alone by itself on the side. It doesn't play a role on these brackets there. The brackets are only attached to -3. That's the one I wanted to emphasize on. So if you foil, you're going to multiply this by that, and then you're going to multiply this by that, and then you drop the 6x as it is. So it will just be 6x, and then you multiply the -3 with the x, it will be -3x, and then -3 with the 4, it will be -12. I don't know if I should bring this, but I can bring it after. It's fine, just because I'm working with people who are just starting from. I don't have to be advanced. We are just starting, all of us. So I'm gonna leave it as 5x for now and simplify this side first. So for this side, I will have 6x minus 3x. It would be positive 3x. And then when I bring the 5x to the other side, it will become negative 5x. Therefore, this is gonna be less than, because for now the sign isn't changed yet, it's still the given. When I take the -12 to the other side, it will become positive 12. So far, we are still fine.
Yebo.
Therefore, 3x minus 5x will give us
-2.
minus 2. It's less than 12. Now, this is where the punchline comes. You have a coefficient of a negative. Then, when you divide by -2, this will cancel that. Therefore, x will be greater than -6. One more last thing. One more last thing is, under inequalities, we don't cross multiply. You know that, right? We don't cross multiply under inequalities because it's not an equal sign. So I just want to do one with a fraction. So if you have x minus 1 over 3 is less than 2x plus 1. For someone who understands their maths very well, if you had 2x minus 1 over 3 is equals to 2x plus 1, you are gonna say, since this one is over 1, I'm gonna cross multiply this by that and cross multiply this by that, and you would have 2x minus 1 is equals to 3 into 2x plus 1, because you are avoiding to have a fraction. You want it to be linear. This is what you would do if it was an equal sign. But inequalities, we do not at all ever factorize. We just work with the fraction until we get to the end, and then the answer will decide. So what I need to do here, it would be 2x minus 1 over 3 minus 2x plus 1 is greater or equals to 0, right? So I have a fraction and this one is not. But any other thing is a fraction because any number is over 1. So since any number is over 1 and any other thing is a fraction, I'll take my lowest common denominator, because in inequalities, I cannot cross multiply. So this will be 3. And then if this is 3, because it's the lowest common denominator, like I'm asking myself, which number can be divisible by both? Between 3 and 1, which number can divide both numbers? And it's only 3. So 3 into 1, 3 into 3 goes once. 1 times that would be 2x minus 1. Remember, there are many ways to do this method. I don't want to preach on that. We all know some. I've seen you guys do it differently, but I'm confident to show you are able to. But for the times where we have to go back and revise how to add and subtract fractions, we're gonna do that for preparation. How many times does 1 goes into 3? It goes 3 times. 3 times that, therefore it will be minus 3 into 2x plus 1. It's greater than 0. But the 3 of the denominator is still there because I cannot cross multiply. Also, this is over 1. I could cross multiply the 3 with the 0 and this one with the 1 to make it linear. But because it's inequality, I'm not allowed to cross multiply at all. So put it in your mind even before you write tomorrow. Inequalities, no multiplication. I mean, no cross multiplication. You're just using it like this. So this is then gonna be 2x minus 1 minus 5 times minus 3 times 2, it will be minus 6x. And then minus 3 times minus 3 times 1, it will be minus 3. This is still over 3. I'm still dropping it like that. Therefore, it would be I would then have 2x minus 6x, it would be minus 4x, minus 1 minus 3, it would be minus minus 4 over 3 is greater or equals to 0. We are still together, ne?
Yes.
Because I don't want to cross multiply, I will say minus 4x over 3 minus 4 over 3 is greater than 0. Therefore, minus 4x over 3 is greater than positive 4 over 3. So, because I'm solving for x, I can divide by minus 4 over 3. I can divide by minus 4 over 3. Do you see what I'm going with this? Or you can multiply by 3 over 4 both sides. You will see how the multiplication will come about. So if I divide this by this will cancel. Therefore, x is going to change and be less because I divided by a negative coefficient, although it was a fraction. And then if it's less, it's going to be 4 over 3 times 3 over minus 4. Because I changed the division to become multiplication. And because of that, whatever I had that side must flip also. You still remember that part?
Yes.
And then from this, if you simplify this part, 4 times 3 divided by 3 times minus 4, this will cancel that. This will cancel that, but this one is a negative. So x will be negative minus 1. As long as it may look long, you're just avoiding to cross multiply. Although when you cross multiply, it may look the same, but you are avoiding cross multiplying because you are working with inequalities. Ne? The reason why we are not cross multiplying inequalities is because we are saying these two things are not equal. They are just greater than or whatsoever. So we don't play around with that. So is there any question under inequalities which you think you can touch, Mr. Nziga?
1.8.
1.8 is the same as this one.
Oh.
Yeah, 1.8. You know what? Put 1.8 for when you are practicing. You're gonna send it to me when you get stuck.
Sure. Then
I thought we're gonna go to the one where it has 2 signs. I'm looking at section B.
oh yes.
Section B, question 1, which is an inequality. We have already tried that one. The one with which is an inequality. It's gonna be the very same way as we did the previous one. So let's look at a case where you have 2 sides. So they gave you this. We have minus 11. This side less or greater than 3m minus 8 is equals to 4. This just means that Mathematically, this means that this equation is between the two values. And remember that the way it works, the open bracket has the bigger number. The tip has the smaller number. That's why the one where the brackets are open like Pac-Man, it's always big. The side where the brackets are closed for Shaka Zulu's arrow, it's always small. The way you do this, you solve it the very same way as you solve them ka 1-1. So you must make sure you take this 8 to this side, but same time you must also take the 8 to the other side because you have two push in this regard. But you move with the signs as they are. This would be does it make sense?
Yes.
So you just follow this. It's still more or less similar. It's just that you have two sides, but the very same way you would use that side is the very same way you do that side. And this will then give you minus 3m is between, but the sign I move with them as they are. This is going to be between 12, this side, minus 11 plus 8 is minus 3. But I'm looking for m, so I will divide by 3 this side, I will divide by 3 this side, I will divide by 3 this side. Because what I do on the left, I also do on the right-hand side. But this time I have, this is the left of the side, this is the left, so I just do on all the sides. So this is going to result as minus 1 is between. If you are to show this scenario in a number line, because it's important to also imagine it in a number line. It's part of it. So this would be minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Say maybe this is 5. And the number line goes like that and it goes like this. If I was to represent this, this side is saying m is from 4. This side is saying m. So let's interpret it like this side. M is less than 4. 4 is greater than m. M is less than 4. 4 is greater than m. The tip, smaller number, bigger number. Shaka Zulu is standing this side. 4 hits m with an arrow. So 4 is going to that direction. But m, when we look at it from here, m is greater than minus 1. So m must go to the positive direction. But it has an equal sign underneath, though the side of ohm doesn't have equal sign underneath, which is the reason why the circle here, I didn't shade it. I just went like that. But this side, I'm going to shade the circle because I'm showing that it includes minus 1. So there's an equal sign underneath, shaded, going to that direction because it's greater. But there's less than 4 without shaded because there's no equal sign underneath that goes like this. So we say m is between the values of 4 and minus 1. This lesson will get better as we go. For now, I'm just going with the basics. So that's what we have. But I'm also saving time to say something about the trigonometry because we've been talking and now it's past and it's been an hour. So let's just we're gonna pinpoint this part. I think most of the inequalities ones we're gonna do them on the side when we are preparing. Let's go to to the thingy, to the geometry. So the geometry, the ones that your teacher said are gonna come out is the example of the page that you sent is the stuff we are preparing for tomorrow, ne? All right. So for inequalities, we've touched on everything. More especially number 2, I know you can solve it. Number 3, I know you can solve it. 4, I know you can solve it. The other one with the volumes, and I can see the volume of it's a volume of a cylinder, ne?
Or which document?
The last page. If V is equals to 3 over 4 pi r to the exponent 3, determine the value of r. That
Oh,
one
yes.
also is not part of this. We're going to talk about that after. But the most important part I think you have to know here is how to use Pythagoras theorem. But not necessarily have to use Pythagoras theorem, but how to play around with your triangle for now. Opposite over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent, SOHCAHTOA. Have you ever heard of the word SOHCAHTOA before?
No.
Anyone who has heard of the word SOHCAHTOA?
I have.
You have, man.
Mm.
That's what every teacher uses to memorize, to help students memorize things. Before I do the example we have in your page, let me first explain this. It all starts from, if I put a triangle here, if I put a triangle here and have theta, we say, if I can name this triangle A, B, C, perhaps. I can either look at it from here, but it all starts probably from a Cartesian plane, which would be similar. That triangle could be somewhere there. I'm gonna put it on the first quadrant for now because we are just starting. And then we may have an angle theta. Let me stick to this one. So if it's gonna be a triangle, whether you look at it from a Cartesian plane, whether you look at it from here, but it's the same triangle. When we have a Cartesian plane, you have the y-axis, you have the x-axis. The y-axis are proportional to this side. This is also the y-axis. This is also the x-axis. And then, according to Pythagoras theorem, if this triangle is the right angle triangle, which is always going to be the case, it's always going to be the right angle triangle, we say this is our hypotenuse. And our hypotenuse, we call it R. So, because of that, before I talk about SOHCAHTOA, if I write these things, sine, cos, and tan. Since we don't have time, we are just improvising. We're going to come back to this lesson again properly. If I write sine, cos, and tan, is there anyone who knows? Okay, let me say, is there anyone who doesn't know what these things are? You've seen them before, all of you, ne?
Yes.
Yes.
So that SOHCAHTOA I'm telling you about is just to communicate or interpret a triangle like this. So in terms of that, we have names for our sides. The x side, we call it the adjacent. Abbreviated by adjacent for AAG. This one we call it the opposite side. Like we refer it based on the angle theta. So theta, the adjacent is the floor where it's staying. This is the opposite side. The opposite side, you can see where it's opposite to the theta value, that side, right one. And then the upper part, we call it our hypotenuse. So it's our responsibility to be able to represent sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta in terms of opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite, we shortcut for it, we just use OPP. Hypotenuse, we just use hype for the shortcut. So it's our responsibility to can be able to tell, if I have sine x, if I have sine theta, how do I represent it in terms of this? Mind you, the x, the y, and the r will be values. The y might be 3, the x might be 2, the r might be, doesn't matter, Mara. We must know that sine x is always going to be opposite over hypotenuse. And opposite over hypotenuse, you don't just have to know it like that. You also have to know that since it's opposite over the hypotenuse, opposite is y over x. That part is even more important than understanding opposite over hypotenuse, being able to abbreviate them in terms of x and y. For cos of theta based on this angle, cos of theta is the same as adjacent over hypotenuse. In terms of x and y, it means, oh, no. Sorry. Hypotenuse is r, man. Oh. Opposite over hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is r, not x. X is our adjacent. So, in this case, cos of theta is adjacent, which is x over hypotenuse, which is r. And then tan of theta is going to be opposite over adjacent, which is going to be equals to y over x. Now, that thing I was telling you about when I say SOHCAHTOA, teachers use the word SOHCAHTOA to make students remember how to go this notation, because to memorize this is hard. So what they do is they write sine, cos, and tan. So in between sine, cos, and tan, we say sine is opposite over hypotenuse. We say cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. We say tan is opposite over hypotenuse. Hence, SOHCAHTOA. So you use this word to memorize this breakdown. So sine, opposite over hypotenuse, which is y over r. Cos, adjacent over hypotenuse, which is over r. Tan, opposite over adjacent. So this word is easy to memorize than this thing. Now, let's play around with this just for this interesting part of it. Let's say we have sine 30. I want you to punch in sine 30 in your calculator. What do you get when you punch sine 30 in your calculator?
1 over. No.
1
Oh,
over 2
no.
was doesn't matter.
Mm.
Actually, I wanted it as 1 over 2, not as 0.5, because some will get 0.5. Mara, we all know 0.5 is 1 over 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if sine 30 is equals to 1 over 2, I then know that sine 30 is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, whereby I know that sine 30 is equals to y over r. So in this regard, I can assume that y is equals to 1 or r is equals to 2. Just taking it from there. So I can put my triangle. Instead of putting theta, I put 30 degrees. And then I say y, r, x. And I said from knowing that sine 30 is 1 over 2, it means sine 30 is 1 over 2, which is opposite over hypotenuse. So this is how these things work. Now, it's a right angle triangle. You might ask yourself, if I have sine only, how am I going to get cos 30 degrees? Because cos 30 degrees is supposed to be x over r. Anyone has an idea how am I going to get that? I can't do that without having the value of x, right?
Oh,
But since we have a right angle triangle, we then use Pythagoras theorem to get x. And to get x, that's when you'd say x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared, Pythagoras, from the whole triangle. Therefore, x squared is going to be r squared minus y squared because I'm solving for x squared. Therefore, I would have 2 squared minus 1 squared. Therefore, it will end up giving me that x squared is equals to 3. No, 5. Yeah, 3, because 4 minus 1, 3, yes. So from 3, since I'm solving for x, I'll put square root here, I'll put square root here. Therefore, x is gonna be equals to plus or minus square root of 3. Since it's plus or minus, this part I will teach you later. For you, which part do I take a positive value? Which part do I take a negative value? Because it matters the quadrant that I'm at. So x would be square root of 3, meaning cos 30 would be square root of 3 over 2. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right. There's more to this. There's more to it. It depends on how the question is being faced. But oh, are you fine now? Is your PC fine now?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Did you miss some important things somewhere?
Not really.
All right. Because you are the one who's writing. The other people for now, they're just spectators. They still have their tests coming also. So now let's use the final triangle that we have. But guys, never mind me saying whoever who's writing tomorrow. This is all for us. Little now we're gonna sooner or later.
But the one who's
we'll be reading. Oh,
spectators.
yeah, that's good. Just mute on the other side so it doesn't repeat my voice, because it's so straight. I talk a lot, but I don't enjoy listening to my own voice. More especially, when it's coming from the other side. It's like I'm on a parallel universe now.
Mhm.
Let's use this triangle that we have, né? So here we have, they gave us 5 here, and then they call this triangle KMN. Then we have theta here. Then we have 3 here. First question, they want us to determine MN. So let me name them like that. We have KM, which is equals to 5. We have KN, which is equals to 3. Do you guys agree so far by doing what I've done so far?
Yes.
Yes.
So the first question they're requiring from us is to find MN. How do we find MN? Only one way.
Pythagoras' theorem.
Thank you. Pythagoras theorem. And Pythagoras theorem is always about the hypotenuse. Since it is always about the hypotenuse, it means km squared. I want to build it from this. Km squared is going to be equals to mn squared plus kn squared, because the hypotenuse is the sum of the square of the other. Then from here, I can say mn squared is equals to km squared minus kn squared. Because what I've done here, I've taken the kn, because I want to solve mn to the other side of the equal sign to make it a negative. And then from there, mn squared is equals to km is 5 squared minus kn is 3 squared. Therefore, mn squared is going to be 5 squared is 25 minus 3 squared is 9. Therefore, mn squared is going to be 25 minus 9 will be 60. But you are not looking for mn squared. You are looking for mn. So you're going to put your square root here to remove the squared on the mn. And then your answer will be mn is equals to 4.
4.
So we have 4. So from here, we can determine anything that we want. Anything. When we have sine, this is sine theta. 4 is the opposite of sine. 3 is the adjacent of, theta. 4 is the opposite of theta. 3 is the adjacent of theta, the floor. 5 is the hypotenuse of theta. Now, The next question, they want us to determine. I'm going to name all the things they want us to determine. Ash. And they brought in chords, but I didn't talk about chords because I never thought it was going to go to their identities. But look, before I get to the chord one, let's look at the fact that, let's remember our soccer tour, because we use it for reference. So our soccer tower states that sine opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent. So now look at this. From this triangle, number one, they want us to determine sine theta. What are we going to say based on soccer tower? But in terms of the numbers from this triangle, it's going to be sine theta, opposite over hypotenuse.
4/5.
4/5. So I can even say, before saying 4/5, I can first say, I'm going to say it's equals to mn over km. And then I substitute and say 4/5. So everyone can see it. Because soccer tower, opposite mn over hypotenuse kn. What about 10 theta based on the diagram?
4/3.
4/3. So we can start by saying mn over kn, which is going to be 4/3. As much as I haven't spoken about this one, I just want to test the waters. This one, I'm going to direct this question specifically to Ntiga. What would be called theta, Mr. Man?
Since cotangent is the inverse of tangent, it's going to be 1/10 of
1/10.
yes.
It is. Oh, when you say 1/10, I was thinking 1/10 as a value.
No,
I hear
no.
you. I hear you. It's gonna be 1/10 theta there.
Yes.
But I would like to teach you guys something quick in terms of inverses before we because when you do it like this, you have to derive it yourself. So let me just do this part quickly. I hope I can cover. I never thought this lesson was going to take this long, but I'm glad it did also, because it gives us a heads up of making sure we are fully prepared. But again, you're still gonna practice on your side, Mr. Man, and send me some questions when you start, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the best way to prepare for these things, because hey, there's no such thing as I've studied enough in life. So we have sine theta, we have tan theta, we have cos theta. These things, they have inverses. Their inverses, we say this is the same as 1 over cosec theta. We say this is the same as 1 over cot theta. We say this is the same as 1 over sec theta. This is the other way around, such that even cosec theta is the same as 1 over sine theta. I just don't want to go into that detail big, because I have so many things I want to write here. So now, since we have this scenario, we call them inverses. Now, since they are inverses, the part that we can focus on today, if sine theta is equals to y over r, this means that cosec theta, since it's an inverse, it's going to be the other way around, r over y. You can prove it, but it might take time. For now, you can just know I'm giving you this as a fact. Same applies. When you have tan of theta being equals to y over x, it means its inverse, which is cot of theta, is going to be x over y. They go like that. It's proven. You don't have to prove it. So when you have cos of theta to be equals to adjacent over hypotenuse, it means sec of theta will be r over x because they go together like that. So you from this, I'm bringing you from this question, you already have tan theta. As much as you would say it's going to be 1 over 10, you're going to say probably 1 over 3 over 4. And when you have this, automatically when you divide, you're going to say this is the same as 1 divided by 3 over 4, which is going to be the same as 1 times 4 over 3. And anything times by 3 is going to be just 4 over 3. But as long as you already know 10, to get caught, you just put 10 upside down, which is going to be 3 over 4. Is it making some sense, Yana, there?
Yes.
I think for now, whatever matters, we've tried to push as much. We've pushed as much as we can in this, Mr. Man. And I want to prepare for the next lesson, Yana, because there's there are a couple of people, Yana, who are writing tomorrow, and the ones who panic the most is the grade 11s and the grade 12s. But also, I want to give you time to also study on your side before you go to bed, so you can have questions on your side. Everybody else, don't worry. We're gonna come to this on our thing. Because Liluna, you're gonna have your tests here and there. You're gonna send me your schedules. We're gonna discuss them. Sometimes we're gonna discuss them with other people. Sometimes we're gonna discuss them one-on-one, depending on the times. Because also around this time, that's where traffic is high. Everyone is home now, and around 5:30 and 9 o'clock, everyone doesn't mind to have a lesson. That's why I get it. For those who come home early, sometimes we get to enjoy the luxury of like just talking proper questions. But also, doesn't matter what time you get home. The goal is in a day, let's eat one piece of an elephant because this elephant is so big for the whole year. You can prepare on your other side, Mr. Man, and everyone. We're gonna discuss tomorrow what time are we meeting tomorrow. Mara, tomorrow I would like us to go back to physics for both Vika and Jade. I know Horentabile doesn't do physics for now, but for the mathematics, I'm gonna talk to you on the side. What is the way forward? I think for today we can call it a day here. We are not done. We're still gonna talk on the private. For those who have questions, even if it's not about this, if you have a question on physics whatsoever, guys, you're free to send me your questions all the time. You don't have to wait for a lesson even.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, we can call it a day. I'm not gonna close the link. You can just vamos, and then I do my thing.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Right, Chef.
Yes.
Tomorrow,
Bye.
bye.
Ciao.
Sure. Mr. Ntsika, we're still gonna talk on the private for the practice, ne?
Yebo.
Oh, ladder.
Sharp.
Sure. If you don't sign it, I will remove it. Okay, so for those who are watching on the other side, which is the YouTube channel, I just broadcast one Yana lesson amongst all my lesson. You would never, ever, ever, ever get enough full context from one lesson. You can learn something, might help you with something, but to get full context, it would be better if you subscribe to our private lessons. And to subscribe to our private lessons, it's very easy. You just send a WhatsApp to the number 081 465 2676. That's 081 465 2676. Now, let me tell you something interesting. On the private lessons, we don't limit your child to say we charge R1 per hour. We have a fixed fee where we just learn throughout the month. So month by month, we have a fixed fee where we learn throughout to prepare for whatever test, whatever assessment, whatever exam your child has, from the month of registration up until the final exam. That must be the most awesomest thing you can think of right now. I don't know if the word awesomest exists, but yeah, that would be so awesome. But otherwise, to do that, feel free, WhatsApp us 081 465 2676 to make sure your child keep up with the best learning sessions in the world because we are the best vele when coming to what we do. We are like doctors of. There are people who call people who don't understand dom cops. And I don't know, we hear that type of a thing because we are simplified RSA, the guys who makes it look easy day by day.
Simplified RSA, the guys who makes it looks easy. Your number one learning channel.